Hi, Nia. Good to see you, Antonia.
What's up, Mia?
Testing, 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 testing,
Right. What's up?
testing, testing.
Bye, Mangalo.
Te-
Bling.
testing, testing. Okay.
What's up, Mangalo? How you doing? Oh, I'm loving this chat room, man.
See, that's the
Right?
thing. I can't see anything in the chat until like later. That's the
So
crazy
afterwards,
part.
right? Yeah.
Lawrence, don't forget to vote. Everybody who's out there, don't forget to vote in the Facebook page for the Vegas trip if you're going to
I,
attend or not.
I voted
Yeah.
already. Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you do? Did you? Okay. Because the more votes we get, the more that we can start to create a committee for the Vegas trip.
Oh, wait. Which vote you talking about for the dates, right?
No, the date is
Oh,
confirmed to
okay.
see who's going. Yeah. So
Oh,
go
I
ahead and
voted
vote when you get a
on the
chance.
date. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
vote for the new one that we
Okay.
just posted.
Okay. I will.
Vi, hey, what's up, girl? Hi,
Yeah.
Vi.
When we gonna get Vi on here? Let's go, Vi.
Yes. Yes. Lenny, so remember I was talking about the castor oil?
Yeah.
Because, you see how hair is growing back?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So, yes,
Are
everybody,
you using
castor oil.
the organic one, right?
Yes, the
Yeah.
organic one in the glass bottle is
The
cheaper,
best.
the best, way
Yeah.
better than buying those expensive products. And then so yeah, so it was very
Yeah, I can
because
see it.
after my surgery, I all the
Yeah.
anesthetics kind of messed up my
Yeah.
yeah. So
So now you can do that. What you call it? You know, like how the melodies they do that. You do that little wave. Do a little wave.
right, do that wave right there.
Yeah.
Do some angel reefs.
Yeah.
All right, I can't see chat, so whatever you guys are in the chat, I'll see it later.
Yeah.
But just want to say hi, love
Yeah.
you guys all. Thanks so much for joining us. Don't
Yeah.
forget to vote for if you guys are going to attend, if you're going, maybe or no. It'd be nice to get again a head count to see how many people are going, so we can start preparing for that Vegas trip. That's at the end of May through the 1st of June. So. And I'll be there on Thursday because I want to get some kickoff before everybody shows up. Because
By
what
the
goes
way,
on in Vegas stays in Vegas.
by the way, we're not sponsored by castor oil. All the people asking.
Dude, I'm telling you, I should be their spokeswoman because
Yeah.
castor oil is the thing. Hi,
It is.
Levi. Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, it's like that, and then my nails came back, and
You're putting it all over your face, right? Just for people who are asking, right?
yes,
You're under your eyes, stuff like that, and
yes.
then in your hair, on your scalp as well, correct?
And
Yeah.
especially my skin. So yeah, for
Yeah.
those who are asking, I'm not a spokesperson for castor oil,
Yeah. Yeah.
nor am I getting paid for castor oil.
Yeah.
But castor oil in the glass bottle. And if you guys have any questions, I'll give you where I ordered from. But castor oil really helps for everything. Like Lolengi, you were talking about the
Yeah.
digestion.
Yeah.
I put it after I get out the shower. I don't even dry myself first. I put the castor oil all over with my wet skin until it gets it moist. I bet you Eileen is probably like, oh my gosh, here she goes again with the castor oil. But it's really helped me so much because like this part
Yeah.
of my hair has bald
Girl.
ever
Yeah.
since my surgery. And after diligently, consistently putting the castor oil on my hair,
It's
my skin, even like around my eyes, it
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
helped. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Your skin looks flawless. Yeah. It
Oh,
looks
thank
nice.
you, thank you.
Yeah.
Also for guys, I mean, not gonna get in details, but it helps everywhere.
Yeah.
So, look into that.
Yeah.
But
For you guys in the chat, it helps down in the Netherlands.
yes, downtown.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if Linga's in.
This is
Okay.
Arlena we're talking about, right?
Yes,
Oh,
yes. And
right on. Let's go.
those who are also on here right now, we got 5 people in the month of January. Next week, Wednesday, John Tufo will be on. So
Yes.
instead of Saturday, John Tufo will be on next week, Wednesday. So we got 2 people 1 week, and Bolikoa will be next week, Saturday. So some exciting stuff going on next week.
Like Mahalo was asking, how does it help down there?
I'm not going to explain
Here's how it helps. All the pala areas, you put it there and then it smooths it out.
Oh, I wasn't thinking about that part. I was thinking about something else.
Oh, yeah. Well, that too, but
Yeah.
we'll wait till Caster sponsors us, then we'll go into detail.
Dude, for real. They should be paying us for advertising for them. And plus, it's so good for like chapsticks and all that stuff. I mean, way better than lotion, because lotion you got to keep on putting that on your skin when you go outside in the sun. But the castor oil really moistures your skin.
Yeah.
So.
And lotion has a lot of chemicals because they have that for the scents,
Yeah, but I was watching this one YouTube video, and it was talking about how castor oil was usually used for those people in the Middle Eastern, just like the olive oil, right? But then they said for the Polynesian people, coconut oil works the same way.
Same way.
So all of you guys back in Samoa, take advantage of that coconut oil, because the one I use for castor oil is nothing but castor oil, coconut oil, no other type of chemicals like lotion. So
I don't know if you remember too, coconut oil back home was used for fofos.
Oh, still do, I'm sure.
Yeah. And every house has one.
Yes. Even I had that. I see that many times. Our neighbors, and they always go to the. There's always that woman in the village that does like the witchcraft. It's not even witchcraft, but like our
like a fofo, right?
Yeah.
Like a full mic. Yeah.
I wanted to ask, for those who are still back in Samoa, this is like memories that I just remembered. Do they still have the milkshake candies? Those.
Oh yeah.
They still have it back in Samoa. Man,
those are so bomb, huh?
Damn, I miss eating that. I was just thinking about that. Yeah, I was just drinking this one new shake, and I thought, milkshake candy from Samoa. That is, man.
It does taste just like the shakes though here, huh?
Yeah. And then there was another one I was thinking about, the Scott cookies.
Oh yeah, the Scots, the chocolates.
Yes,
or
and
the
then
the Tim Tam.
I don't know why they don't have regular chocolate Tim Tam, but the not regular chocolate, milk chocolate. They only have that there, but they only have dark chocolate Tim Tams here in Texas. I don't know.
Yeah. That's right, Levi. Levi said the milkshake and minties. Remember the mint ones?
Yes!
Yeah, the mint ones.
I remember when I used to live in Ili, and I lived right by the golf course, and I attended Upelele. I never brushed my teeth going to school.
So you would get the mint ones?
Yes, my mom had these bag of milkshake candies and the mint one, and she would always smell like breath before we leave, just to make sure we brush our teeth. But I ate that, and learn my lessons. Brush your teeth. Tell your kids brush your teeth while they're here.
For real.
Hey, Fano. What's up, Fano?
What's up, Fano?
You missed the conversation about the castor oil, but that'll be for a later time.
Yeah. Yeah. Those candies were good memories.
Fano is like right there in California too, right?
Really?
Yeah, Fano's up in California, the Bay Area, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's another person there. There's just so many up in California.
Yeah. And it's crazy we don't run into each other,
You talking about millions of people over there.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like Texas.
Yeah.
You rarely come across anybody. Yeah.
Well, the Polynesian community there is starting to grow because of the good pricing in houses, you know?
Well, I hope so because there's hardly any in Houston. In Dallas, there's so many
Oh, yeah.
Polynesians there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
so
I
be
forgot.
nice to see some Polynesians.
I forgot Texas is huge. So
Dude,
big.
I could talk a lot of crap to Samoan here because nobody understands me. Even when I'm yelling at my kids, as soon as I start swearing in Samoa, they know they start running when they're playing. But yeah, no, I truly do miss our people, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least we connect here, you know? This is where we get our medicine, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and I love that. It's a time for us to renew ourselves and our
Yeah.
spirit, our
Yeah.
mind.
Get caught up. My
Yes, get
mahalo,
caught
it's gonna
up.
be Lena today. Lena's in the hot seat. There she is.
Hey, what's up, Lena? Welcome,
Yeah.
welcome.
Hello.
All right.
You look nice, sis.
I put on a shirt with sleeves.
Well, you
Happy
look
New Year's.
beautiful,
Happy New
sis.
Year's.
Right? It's so hot in Hawaii. I always be wearing a tank top. Happy New Year's to you guys as well.
Well, let's get started, yeah?
Yeah, let's do
Do
this.
do you guys hear echo on my end
A
or you
little bit,
do?
yeah.
Okay, let me turn it to okay. Hear me now?
Still a
Just a little.
little echo. Say something again.
Hey, hey, Lee.
Can't hear you at all now.
Hi, bye. Fano. Mia.
Can't hear you, Lee. Can't hear you.
Testing, testing.
Oh, now we can hear you.
Okay, testing, testing, testing. Darn, I should have done this. Okay, no echo.
Oh, there.
It's a little bit. It's a little echo, but I think you should be fine.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, perfect. All right, let's get started. So, welcome everybody all over the world, U.S., wherever you may be. Welcome to our Leone High School podcast. And tonight in the hot seat, we have Lena Faumuina all the way up in Hawaii. What's up?
808.
808.
Yay! Yeah, representing. And all the way from California, our co-host, we have Lolengi. Lolengi, what's up,
Yes,
Lolengi?
sir. What's up, guys?
Our brother up there in California just finished golfing, right?
For
So,
real.
yeah, he's still trying to find that ball. So, hey, you know what? I can't wait for the Vegas trip. So before we even start, all of you out there, go ahead and start voting. We need head count to find out who's going to attend the trip. So make sure you vote, cast your vote, not cast your vote, but put your vote in there. Also, be nice to know like who's interested in golfing because hey, we could get a group
Yeah.
together to go golfing one of those weekends that we're all out
Yeah.
there. But anyways, yay! What's up, everybody? Happy New Year's! We are in
Happy
the
New Year. Yep.
2025. Yay!
2-5. Hey, we made it, right? We made it.
Yes,
Lena,
yes.
right,
Yeah.
Lena? We made it.
Right?
Let's go.
Well, we have so much to talk about with Lena, so let's get started and dive right into it. All right, so life after high school, where did it lead you? The first big step, what was the first thing you did after walking off that graduation stage? Did you have a plan or were you just winging it?
Um, I was just winging it. You know, I had a plan of trying to get off island and, go to school and whatnot, but just went with the flow and see where life took me.
So when you said going with the flow, was that something that you just didn't plan ahead, or was it something that your parents agreed to you, or you just didn't want to follow the plan that they had set out?
I
Because
did.
every parents have that path for their child.
Yeah. Yes. So I moved out and in Samoa, right? You stay home, you stay with your parents, you live with the family until you leave the island, right?
Mhm.
I ended up I moved to Hawaii, my mom's family.
Okay.
Side. And so I left I took some classes at ASCC, and I worked at it was Royal Samoa Tours and Travel.
Okay. Yes, I do remember that. That's the travel agency that was downtown area, right?
Yes, it was in
Okay.
the
Okay.
police station. So I worked there and was taking classes at ASCC, and moved out. So I did that for a minute, trying to take some classes, and their plan was to go off island and further my education.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to stay home, and be there.
Now, when you say off island, Nina, did you leave Samoa and then directly stop in Hawaii, or did you come all the way through to the mainland?
No, when I did leave Samoa,
Uh-huh.
I came to Hawaii. I was supposed to join the Navy.
Oh.
So I came to join the Navy, but my parents were sick, so I ended up getting a job at Kaiser. So I was blessed to be able to work for Kaiser for almost 20 years, like 19 years. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, she ended up, she needed a liver transplant, and back home where the greatest is. So
Yeah.
they were like, going to the Navy, just stay. I got a good job at Kaiser, so they were like, just stay there, and started bringing my family over for my parents' medical treatments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Samoa, it's like it's either you join the military when you leave, or if you get a scholarship or sports, or through missions or things. It's like different things, reasons of leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So my sister and brothers were fortunate enough. My sister was in the Air Force. My brothers were in the Army. My other brother's in the Navy now, but I was supposed to join the Navy and travel the world.
Mm-hmm. So Lena, let me go back on this part with your parents, right? Because a lot of our classmates, mostly the ones who are the oldest, with our culture, usually the oldest stay back.
Yeah.
Are you the oldest of your family?
I am. I'm the oldest of 6.
There you go.
Right. So there are a lot of responsibilities, right, and things to do, and in that aspect too, right? It's like when I came, I had my daughter. So I had my daughter at 19. I turned 20 in December, but I had my daughter, and I left her with my parents, and I came to Hawaii, right? They were loving and kind enough and supporting enough to say, solo mangai.
Mm-hmm.
Go and do what you need to do.
Yeah.
That's why I came to Hawaii.
If you don't mind me asking, is mom and dad still with us today?
Yeah, my mom is still with us. God's bless her. She had a liver transplant, so 24 years.
Oh,
wow.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, my dad passed away in 2009. So, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Wow. And I noticed with our people, because of how heavy our food is, a lot of things affect the liver, the fatty liver, the cirrhosis and stuff like that. If we could just educate our people better on foods, it'll probably help. It's just lack of education.
You know what? I'm gonna go back on that part because, like, I know our people. When we look at our videos from back in the 60s, the 40s, 1940s, our people were very fit and small.
Yeah.
So it was just this new Western food that got introduced to us that just played this part where it just caused a lot of illness. So, like what you said, we do need to be educated.
Yeah.
Pretty much with these new entries in our system.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's also, in society, right? Back then we had to walk everywhere. There was a lot. Now it's like we sit a lot, or or back then I shall say, right? The car, we jump in the car, like you go down the road, you jump in the car,
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of it was a lot of that.
And especially that Sunday kongai. You know what I mean?
I love konais.
You just eat and then you sit. You can't do anything, right? Because it's Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? So it's it's
especially when you have a falio in the front, you could just go there and just
lay there and sleep.
Yes.
But
just watch out for the moikolos.
I'm so happy that your mom was able to get that liver transplant, because I know how hard it is to get that.
Yeah.
Well done.
Blessing.
Yeah.
And like my dad had a triple bypass, heart bypass,
Wow.
It was such a blessing. Healthcare, on the backside. Like I can't send blood and all those things, so I didn't do the front end. But you know,
Yeah.
I did the backside of the healthcare and the revenue cycle, and now quality management. But it's, you know, it's an outreach for our people, right? Like the hospitals
Yeah.
back home are that they have to come here or go to the
Yeah.
mainland, the care that they need.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Costly care. Costly care. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Very costly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think you pretty much answered one of the questions that I was going to ask, but I'll ask it anyways. Describe your fresh out of high school phase. Were you living your best life or just surviving?
Oh, I think I was just surviving. You know, like I said, I tried to do my own thing. I moved to Hawaii. I took classes at ASCC. I worked at Royal Samoa Tours and Travel, and then I got pregnant. You know, like that was nowhere in the plan.
Yeah.
I moved to Bolu. My baby's daddy's was from there, and you know, just lived. You know, I reaped what I sowed, right?
Uh,
Things that I wanted to do and not listening. And then I found my way back home to my parents. And, you know, thank God it was sooner than later. You know, sooner than later. So that's where I was able to go home. And then my parents were just like, you know, wow, you know, wala bang ka,
Yeah.
you know,
And you know the thing. Yeah.
right? Especially kids.
Yeah. You know the thing about that too. Just for everyone who's watching in and listening, it's not easy being the eldest. It's not, because a lot of responsibility falls on your shoulders before you even know it, right? So, yeah. So hats off to you, you're doing well.
So Lena, you mentioned, the part with getting married and becoming back and all that stuff, starting with your parents helping you to get to where you need to be financially sustained. Um, any I can't believe I did that moments from your early adult life?
Um, Other than the moments that we have when we realize, like once, like say, when we're out of the house, when we are in the real world, right? It hits us, right? It's like there's so many moments I can't believe I did that. Like starting from my high school, as you like, I'm gonna go off on a little tangent here, but I was born in Samoa, right? But then both my parents went to Chaminade. So they brought me to Hawaii. I was months old, not even a year old, right? So I lived my life here. And then in the 5th grade, they're like, we're going to move to Sacramento. Like my dad was accepted to McGeorge Law School. So he's like,
Wow.
Sacramento. So I was so angry. Like, when we got there, I was bullied. I spoke pidgin. I dressed weird, I'm like, you like me lick you, it's like,
Yeah.
and I got bullied. So
Yeah.
I
You was the kind, huh?
yeah. They're like, and then finally getting all those years in, like being able to find myself and do the things, and then my grandpa got sick, and my dad's like, we have to move back home.
Oh,
you know
wow.
so I was like, oh my gosh, like picking up and going back home, and this was going back home for the first time, right? He's like, we're moving,
Yeah.
we're gonna live. And then getting there, like I said, I lived in Hawaii. I went to Tafuna High School first. And like these girls were like talking crap in Samoan. I was sitting in the classroom and I understood every word they said. And they were like, I'm allowed, right? And I'm sitting there like,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
And when the bell rang, I was like, oh, and then they're like, she know how to speak Samoan, blah blah blah. Anyhow, I ended up transferring to Leone High School because my dad lives in Wailoa, is from Wailoa. And then even coming to Leone, right? I was still rebellious. I was very angry at my parents, at life, right? At responsibilities. So I did a lot of things that I tell myself, I wish I didn't do that, I wish I wish I had listened, right? But we were all growing. We all didn't know, right? I was so rebellious. You guys know I would do the opposite thing. My dad was whakafuma, like literally held me in the middle of the road on the ground, like telling them to run me over with a car because I was so, and I regret all those things that I did, like shaming my parents, shaming my family, just everyone. But we have to know that what we did then, we didn't know better. we thought we did, but we didn't. You know, the people that we were growing up, the things that we did, you know, it it doesn't determine the people that we are today, the people that we become. You know, as long as we're better adults and we treat people, you know, with love and life and speak life into things, that's what matters, is who we
Yes.
become.
Yes.
You know, I like what you just said.
Yeah, I do. I agree.
I like what you said, Lena, is speaking life to
Yeah.
each other, you know,
Yeah.
because that's very important, especially our younger generation. They're living a life where social media is actually controlling their minds. And so, whereas we went through life blindfolded, not influenced by the outside, but influenced by, I say like, I think my son's teacher said it best to us. He said to my son, don't let your heart lead you, but let your mind. Because sometimes our
Yeah.
heart, you know, can just make us go crazy for somebody
Yeah.
that's not really worth being with. Um, but you know what? The fact that you brought beautiful babies in this world, that's a blessing.
Yes.
So,
One thing I
That is.
right.
so tell us about your family. Who's the funniest, the loudest, or the bossy of out of your kids or you?
Um, so out of my kids, my oldest is very responsible. She's very, you know, like the checklist to me, right? She's takes care of, you know, all the nieces and nephews because they're all way younger. She's very checklist oriented, you know, and she sets her mind to it and she'll do it. She'll speak, you know, the truth. She'll speak her word, right? Her mind. My second one, she's the lovey, huggy, you know, like always make sure everybody's okay and caring about people, you know. She's always like, oh, mommy, you know, like have a great day, or, you know, she's always like hugging on me, or her monkey, because she always used to crawl on me when she was a baby, right? My dad used to be like, always se looking on, you know. Yeah, she's the lovely one. My oldest is the bossy one. So the second, Jada's the funny one. She's the one that will poke at things and make, you know, I'm like, oh, she's like a mini me, I say, but a better version. I will say that.
You have three daughters, right?
I have two daughters and a son.
Two daughters and a son. Do they dance like how their mom used to dance when you were
My
younger?
oldest does. She danced for high school for the Polynesian Club,
Oh, nice.
performed at PCC and things like that. But yes, she
How old,
dances.
how, how old are your kids, Lena?
My oldest is 28,
Oh, okay.
and Jada is 22. Zaylin is 12, and then I have a granddaughter, so I'm a grandma.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah, she is 8.
Oh, kalofai.
Any parenting moments that felt like a disaster, you know, especially you were taking care of your kids on your own and you had your parents to help. But, you know, there are moments where you felt like, Dad, this is crazy. What am I doing? Have you ever felt like a disaster, but now make up for the best stories when you look back at it?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. You know, like I had said, in high school as we were learning, I made a lot of mistakes, right? And then even as adults, as a young mother, as a young adult, we still make mistakes, right? We're still learning, like all the way till, you know, we say goodbye to this world, we'll be learning. So, um, you know, would never say I'm the perfect mother, but the one of the things that with the kids was in 2009. So in January 2009, they lost their dad. He passed away in American Samoa. He's from Nu'uli, but he passed
Oh,
away in January. And then that was the first time as an adult that I had to move back home with my parents. So it was very humbling because remember I left home when we graduated in Samoa
yeah.
to Hawaii and, you know, went to class and school, and I from then I never went back home, right? So in January 2009, I had to go back home because I was working full time. I was going to school full time, and I had these two girls, you
Wow.
know. So I think that was a very humbling experience to go move back home, let my parents help me out, and, you know, just humble me. It's like, you know how we are. Someone's like, we go, I don't, um, you know, but you never carry your. It's not only about you, right? It's about your family. It's about your
Yeah.
village, it's culture, and making it through. And then fast forward in October 2009, my kids lost their dad. So that
Wow.
very, very rough year. And I would say not only for myself, but especially for my kids, right? Because they lost their dad and then we moved home. So they got so close to their grandpa, right? To their papa.
Yeah.
And then only for him to pass away in October of the same year.
Wow.
You've been through so
That
much,
was
sis.
a lot.
Man, thank you for sharing that. Wow.
Yeah. But, you know, God is good and we made it through,
Yes.
you know.
Yes, he is. Yes,
The only way
indeed.
I made it through, right, is because we have the support, right? Our parents, my siblings, especially my siblings, you know, um, my sister, like I said, yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lena, you know, you imagine yourself walking on the stage to grab your diploma from high school. What would you tell yourself going back before walking off that stage?
I would, oh my, I, there's so much I would tell myself before walking off that stage, but I think I should have just, I should have stayed the course. You know, I shouldn't have feel. I shouldn't have just thought like I'm gonna go do this and this and this. I think if I really had listened to my parents and listened to the plan that they had for me, you know, in doing things, I would have been in a different place and time in life now. You know, and as parents, right, I'm sure they as children did the same with their parents as we did, right? And then our children, right, like there are moments where like my daughter now at 22, she's like, oh, I should have listened to you in high school and, you know, done what you did. You know, she was, because now like she was taking AP classes and they were afforded, you know, for certain things, right? So that when you graduate from high school, you can
Yeah.
have kids, right? And, you know, so you try and plan like, oh my gosh, you should do this because we didn't get to do this, you know, save you and all this and that, you know. So when she says that,
Yeah.
think like, don't worry about it because I feel the same way. I should have listened, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, you know, there's that saying that if you ain't failing, you ain't learning. So all your failures made you the strong woman that you are today. So, you know, you can see it either way, you know?
Yes, yes, no,
Yeah.
definitely. Doesn't kill you, makes you stronger.
Yes, I
Yes.
agree.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Took the words right out of my mouth.
What's harder, making your kids laugh or getting them to take you seriously?
Um, Making them laugh. They took it very seriously. I was the enforcer, you know,
Yeah.
and in this because so when their dad passed away, they were 6 and 12.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Wow.
you know, then I had to be bipolar because then I had to be the mom and the dad, right?
Yeah.
It's you have the two roles, right? Because then they'll be their dad was a nice one. Their dad was so loving, so kind, like they loved him. It's an amazing.
Wow.
He like the girls were his world, you know, everything was. And I was the enforcer, right? I would be the one like, no, no,
Yeah.
you know, I was the mean one, right? I always had to, you know, be at work and be the mean one, discipline. But then when he passed away and I had them, I had to try and balance it being both, right?
Yeah.
So I had to become bipolar, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to show them both sides, right? I had to like okay them and sasa them, and then later on be like, you know, I'm doing this because I love you, and you know, I love you know.
Yeah.
So you
I
know,
just want
hard.
I just want to follow up on how you said their father passed away and they were at such a young age. Did when he passed, was it hard for them to understand his passing, or how did you like, you know, talk to them about that?
Yeah, our the oldest, our oldest, she took it really hard. She was 12, so she understood
She
everything now,
understood.
and
Yeah.
she was a daddy's girl, like
Oh,
Oh,
fine.
you know,
Dang.
like
Wow.
parents, his family would say, the baby like Jada, she'd be the one to not take care of him, but you know, they'd be like, oh, Sa's gonna take care of you, you know.
Yeah.
So she took it really hard. Jada, my 6-year-old, she didn't really understand what's going on. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
bad for her because later on in life she asks about him, you know, but I remember we were doing the bear and you know, like it takes forever, right? All day when they're doing fasamo and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I tired. She's like, Mommy, can I go inside watch TV? You know, and I was just like, maybe just stay out here with Daddy. You know, when you say goodbye to Daddy, you're not gonna see him again. You know, trying to explain to her
Yeah.
the importance of it. Yeah,
Mhm.
they took it hard.
Um, thanks
Well, you've done a
for
very good
sharing.
job at,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for sharing that too. You've
Yeah.
done a really good job, Lena, just watching, watching you on Facebook and the way that your girls have grown up to be. You've done a good job at being a mother and a father at the same time. So
Yeah.
kudos to you, sister.
Yeah.
Um, now, I'm gonna start talking about high school, if that's okay with you.
Okay. Wait, sorry, before thank you. Thank you for
Hmm.
saying good job. But you know, like I said, I would not have been able to survive any of that without like my parents, right? And our
Yeah.
Hmm.
schooling and our village, right? It takes a village to
Hmm.
village. So, you know,
Yeah.
I'm so thankful in our ways, right? Our
Yeah.
fasamo, our love that just endures. You know, not
Hmm.
Yeah.
all cultures have that. So I thank God for that outside.
You know,
Yeah.
that's a good point you brought that up because, one of the question was, how do you keep Samoan culture alive at home? But that's is exactly what it
Just
is.
Yeah.
answered it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely, and in passing, there's a lot of different ways that we pass it on to our kids, right? I was lucky. I got to move back home in 2016 when I left Kaiser, and I took I went with my grandma, and my mom, because they wanted to move back home. But I took my daughter, my niece, my nephew, my son, and my granddaughter, so they were able to go to Leone High School
Oh,
for their, you know,
Lions.
Yay.
Let's go, Lions.
I know.
Let's go.
All right, so now that we're talking about back home with Leone High School, what's the first memory that comes to mind when you think of Leone High School?
Um, man, for me, it was like it was a shock, but it was the love, I think, that everybody had as a class. You know, I went to um, high school in the mainland, right? And nobody cares about anybody else, right? You're just doing your own thing. You know, you don't have go to class things, you don't do any of this stuff, right? So when I came to Samoa, when I came back home, I was like, this is so cool. Like, everybody holds everybody accountable. They're like FOMO, like, and you
Yeah.
know what you are, where you're supposed to be,
Yeah.
they won't let you get away.
Yeah.
you
Don't
know,
forget the Board of Education.
no, for
Yeah.
real, right? Like Okuso standing there with, like the enforcer, and like, they're
Yeah.
just like, and it was there was just so much love. Like, everybody cared as a class, and you were just one. Like, it was just amazing. In the mainland, like, it was a lot of different people, cultures, races. So to be home is like everybody's Samoan, everybody's from different villages and families. But when you come here, this high school, this class,
Hmm.
this is who you are and where you're from.
Speaking on
Yeah.
everyone, speaking on everyone being from every village and stuff like that. Where was the one area that you hung out a lot when we were back in high school?
Man, I hung around almost, like, I hung around everybody. So that's what I was saying. Like, I was really fun on God right in high school. Like, oh my gosh, everybody knows, like, the food tree or whatever, as I,
The food tree.
like, okay, like, what can I
Yeah.
do? I didn't know nothing back then, but so depending, like, with classes, so like swing choir, right? I hang around
Yeah.
like Teresa, Mabel, right? Cheerleading, Leaso,
Yeah.
Eileen,
Yeah.
right? Or just out and about, like Nia, Pinky, Anna, in classes and other stuff. There's like Merlin,
Yeah.
um, Trisha, Valia, Nai, Pauline, Gina, Levi, Siva. There was just like a different mix. I think because I didn't grow up with everybody, like from elementary to
Yeah.
intermediate to high school, and I came later on. I was a wanderer. I found my place
Yeah.
with everybody, and I knew being in the mainland how it was to be the new person and around. So I just kind of stuck with everybody.
Yeah.
And
You
then,
were all over the place, huh?
yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, plus we had a store across the street.
Mhm.
So I like had to be there in the morning at the store, and then I had to be, at lunchtime, I had to go to the store. and then after school I had to work. It's like I joined cheerleading literally because I wanted to go to the games, and it was games, right? So it was like huge shout out to my cousin like Vi, right? My dad always be like, "Can't you be like Vi?" Like, cause she would always come and like help me too, cause they had a business too, so she understood like having a business, and and I was over there complaining like, "Oh my gosh, I had to wake up early in the morning to make hot dogs, egg sandwiches, to sell at lunchtime, like beanies."
Oh wow.
So like I think I was just everywhere with everybody.
Yeah.
I remember the one thing I used to always get from you guys' store because I didn't have $1, but I would always go. I see people for Selengi was those cup with the juice in there and the simoy.
The ice cake.
Ice cake,
Ice
yeah.
cake. Yeah, that was my favorite too.
Uh-huh.
I just remember you mentioning
Yeah.
that was your family's business, the store right
Yeah. I
across.
remember that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, I was so irritated. But see, now when I look back on it, I'm so thankful, right? I thank my parents because that gave me like the work ethic that I have now to be able to get as high as I am. It was because of the work ethics that they instilled at that time. Failako mumu, and I was falong, like I was like, oh, doing all these bad things, but I'm so grateful now. Now I know.
That's awesome.
So when you talk about bad things that you've done, right? What are some things that you've done while you were in high school that your parents had no idea that you got away with?
That I got away with. I was bad at that because I think I did it blatantly, because I was rebellious, like you I just did it because then I wanted to get in trouble. Like I wanted them to know that I couldn't stand, being moved there, and I don't know, just being angry, right, at everything, at life. So it's like, my dad was whakafunga for Vailoa, and like I remember one time like he had like the freaking village Almanga looking for me because I, went drinking or somewhere, like I really hide anything. I would like sneak out, leave the door open, or
And
I was
because your father had such a high standard, I'm assuming that crushes and everything are out of the question, right?
You dated Tapu. I remember that.
dead.
Yeah.
Right?
I did.
How long did you guys date? Was that like about a year, 2 years?
I think so because he was in an older class, 94. I think he was class 94. And I was like young and stupid and thinking I was in love, and but yeah.
Well, if you're dating anybody that's not in 95, yeah.
Yeah. I think the only thing 95 had that was really good was all the girls, the prettiest girls in the class, But yeah, if you were like dating, if you wanted to date a guy, you kind of had to date up because the older ones were, the big, good-looking ones playing football. So
I'm gonna keep my peace.
I mean, we had a few in our class, but obviously we
But yeah.
dated up.
Well, and then I think too, the guys also dated up as well,
Oh
so
yeah.
yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
because they were too ignorant and scared to approach the girls of our class,
Lena, so you mentioned Alcusa, was he your favorite teacher?
Oh my gosh. They were our advisors, or my favorite advisors and teachers, but wait, let's see. I also Waipuna.
Yes.
But like it was computer class,
Yeah.
right? And he would let us go in there, and I was able to just do things and just learn things in Waipuna's class. Tupel, Kuso, Sendrowski, other of the teachers. Who else? I think those were the main ones.
Did you ever have Samatua as your teacher?
I did not.
Oh, darn it.
Having Samatua.
You would have loved it.
Being that you're from the States, didn't Vaipuna look like a cholo?
He did.
Yeah, right? He did. He would always stand leaning against the truck under the mango tree, just with
Like,
the lokes on. You
yeah,
remember that?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Wow. That brings
yeah,
back memories. Wow.
He'd be charging. He'd be like a quarter if you print stuff on my paper.
yeah,
I'm like, dang.
yeah.
He's like, what about
Lita, so how did you know how your parents were strict, right?
Barry?
Um, how did you manage to allow them to approve for you to go to the Samoa trip?
Oh, that was only because I went with at that
Your cousins.
wife. She had a place there, and she Noelle, that's her name, I think, the agency or something. So I got to go with her, and just so happened she was the twins' auntie. So I was related to the man, and she was related to they were related. So we had to go together, and that's why the three of us, with the two, Regina and Raymond, right? Like we stayed at her family's place, and then we went to the hotel, when it
Yeah.
was like daytime, and then we went back home. And
Oh,
but that was the only way. Like my parents were like, "Okay, you can go." I'm like,
So, but you know what? I'm glad that they got to give you that free agency. Because sometimes, like some kids, they need to be able to go experiment on their own without be
yeah,
told no, and then they go behind their back and just go ahead and do it. So that
yeah.
was an experience. So we talked about, I mentioned that you were with Tapu. I'm sure there was some guys, you mentioned before, there were some of our classmates that you thought were good looking. So who did you find attractive? Who did you think was a good crush?
thank you. Let me go ahead and say thank you first.
Oh my gosh. And it's so funny. Like, this is 30 years later, remember? I'm 47 now, but this is just out of those days, the funny stuff. But you guys, so I had a crush on Ta'alo.
Oh, I think everybody had a crush, right? His name came up a few times.
I
And
think
Yeah,
so, yeah.
yeah.
he dated my girl. He dated Lorena, right? So they dated for a minute, and then I think they broke up. And then um I don't know if he said anything or I said anything, but I was like, when they broke up, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't, I don't like you anymore. Like, you just dated my girl. Like, no.
Wait, he asked you out?
No, I don't know if he asked me out or if like we were in a scene where I could actually say like, I did like you.
Yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
I did like you. You dated a girl, so
Hmm.
But you kept it girl code, right?
I did. I sure
Yeah,
did.
girl code. Yep, right
I
on.
was like mm.
Follow up on the Lonely High School questions. If you were to think back then, from freshman to senior year, what is one thing that you had yourself that everyone would remember you by?
um probably my braids or my hair or my style.
Yeah, yeah,
Before,
I do remember your style. Yeah, you had a good style back then.
my TLC swag.
Yeah, and I remember you wore the baggy pants too, like TLC.
Man,
Yes,
Yeah,
I,
yes.
yeah,
I think back about it. I'm like, it is so
yep.
freaking hot back home. I don't even know how I got
You
away with wearing that shirt. I was in, oh my gosh. But now when I go back home, when I went back home, I could only wear tank tops. Oh, so hot.
yeah, 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 it is hot.
Yeah, I think
Did,
that.
did you enjoy any of the dances that we have? Which one was the most memorable one for you?
Um, I did. There, there was a dance. Also, there was a dance, and then I got to go. And that time I broke up with Taku, or we broke up anyways. He was going to SEC or something, but um, we were in the cafeteria dancing, and I was dancing with Donald Beckel, and then like we're just that because we're dancing, and then he came to the school and like started a fight or something.
Wow.
I don't know if anybody remembers this stuff, but I was like, oh my gosh, it was like so weird, so not the business.
Did you go to prom? And who did you go with?
Um, I did. Well, I was a Miss Junior, so I had to go with Gabriel Reed.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were paired up. Yeah, by default, right?
By default. But yeah, that was the only one. And then because our senior, we went to Apia.
Uh,
Yeah.
And I
I
knew
re-
because I know I did give him a hard time. Like he was like my nemesis. You know, like I think Trisha had mentioned in the one of her questions. She was like, "Oh yeah, I remember when Lena and Gabriel got into an argument, and then she went and helped the other class, you know, the lower class." And I was like, "Oh man, I was hoping nobody would remember that."
I don't remember what happened.
Oh, because I mean, we were all like, Gabriel got into it, and I was like, "Man, forget this," you know. And then I went and helped. Oh, because Vaipuna was doing class of '96.
uh-huh.
Class of 96 in one of their things, and then like it just so happened that they won that, you know, category that we, and then we all got back together. So that's another thing I regret too, right? My stubbornness, right? Because the reason I went to do that was because I was mad at Gabriel. We got into an argument and we were hashing it out, but then you know, the result of what it went was I took it on everybody, right? Because I went to help that whole class, you know, not even our class, and you know, and then they won that thing that you know, one part that I helped them with, and it was like, why, you know, why?
Wow.
So he was upset because you helped the other lower class.
No, I don't even, and see, that's how we know it wasn't even important. Like I can't remember what we argued about, but we were there doing stuff, and like that's why, like I think Trisha and them were there, you know, one of those nights where we were helping out for the rally,
Mm-hmm.
and got into an argument about something. I don't even know what it was about, but we got into an argument, a heated argument, and I left. I was like, F this, I'm gonna go help, you know. I was like, if you don't want my help, then I'm gonna go help someone else.
But you know what? That's the beauty about all this, right? We don't need to remember the argument, but we can look back and laugh about it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm
That's
sorry,
so true.
sorry, class. I'm sorry. Yeah, but that's why it's like it's not important, right? Because some of the details, it's so not important that you know, it's like we have to take it easy on ourselves. You know, we went through stuff, and you know, like I said, I mean, that might be another thing the class remembers about me is like I was like cricket, right? Like I was doing my own thing. Now I'm humbled by it, and I'm so sad that I, you know, hurt a lot of people, especially myself, you know, making those decisions, the wrong decisions. But we can't dwell on it, right? If I wouldn't have been able to be as successful as I am if I dwelled on what I did in high school and, you know, decisions that I made.
Do you think that you hurt anybody in high school from the way you were? Do you think that anybody still, I mean, I'm sure nobody carries any animosity towards you, but do you feel like there were some people that didn't like you because, and they probably think that you're the same way, even though they know you're not, but that feeling still lingers?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, now that I look back at it, like I hurt, you know, I did hurt a lot of people. Like I hurt my parents, I hurt my family, you know, aside from myself, but also in the way that we are as a people, like I hurt, you know, the people from our village, you know, because another thing that take pride in, right? I was, you know, I'm saddened by like um, what I did and how I just went about things. You know, back then I had a chip on my shoulder. You know, I was going through something, and that's why they say, you know, like be kind, right? Because you don't know what people are going through, and especially in those young years as a kid, we're literally kids, right? Um, just things that you do now. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like to the village. I remember we had a fight at Leala, right? Like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like to my cousin Vi, right? Like to take that there and the village girls, you know, that I apologized to, because even though like I don't know if they had a sense or being like that I am from Bailoa, um, you know, also foile ingo ingo or other things, right? They probably were like, oh, I can't believe she's doing that, right? Because
Yeah.
right? You know, I, as an adult, like finally realized how much, which saddened me, I hurt my dad,
Yeah.
you know, as a person and in the village, like the things I did, like, were so shameful to him, and at the time I didn't even think about it. I didn't know then what I know now. Then what they say, lo ku, lo savali, lo kokala, things that you say and do, how you represent yourself. Like, you're not only carrying yourself, you're carrying your village, your family, your culture, and anywhere, your religion, your aspect, anyway of it,
And especially your parents as well, yeah.
Definitely. My teacher, my mom was at the school,
Yeah.
right? I embarrassed her too,
Yeah.
like, it was,
Yeah.
crazy.
That's a trend. That's the trend in our culture too. You do something bad, and the first thing other people say, "Hey, orkamai,"
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Like orkamai. Like, it's because they know you from who your parents are. So
Mhm.
you're right about carrying the village and the family and the parents, because it's true. It's unavoidable.
Mhm. I so I was so horrible that my dad wouldn't allow me to go to participate in the village church functions.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's how
Yeah.
horrible I was. That's how much of a hard time I was having. And I was going through that. Nobody knew, people are just thinking like I'm rebellious,
Yeah.
and all these things. But, they didn't know what I was going through as a child, like, I wish, like, we have now people that reach out and actually see signs or say, maybe you need to talk to somebody,
Yeah.
You know what?
you know.
I like what Edwin doing his podcast. It took for and I had his name in my mind. It was one of the teachers that approached him, and he remembered him because of the one thing he said to him, and he took that through his adult life. You
It was
know,
Agnesty.
and yes,
Yeah.
see, and
It was
I
Agnesty.
hope that everyone out there can be that advocate, not even an advocate, but just a simple smile and just say,
Yeah.
hey, be an honesty to another person,
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. Like, as we become adults ourselves and we've lived through those things, right? Now we know. Now we can give that help to our kids or the people that need that help, or we see it like, right, hey, they're struggling. No, they're not just being an a-hole, right? They're going through something, you
Yeah.
know. Um, and those are things. But like that, like, my dad wouldn't let me go there, and like, I apologized to the village, Eucharist. Oh my gosh, I used to have him come and fangoy, fangoy. Oh, lela makoy, if I may, visenga, and then as soon as we get to the school, right, sola, I'm like, like, I put him through the heck of that, right?
Yeah.
And just a lot of people, everybody, like, even to you guys as a class, when I was voted as a Miss Junior, right, I didn't realize the capacity of what that holds, right, in being supportive and representing the class, So
Yeah. Now, when you say how you were going through your rebellious nature and stuff like that, not listening, getting in trouble, do you feel like that our culture played a part in it because there's not that open line of communication between child and parent, you know, because of our culture? Do you feel that kind of played a role in it? Because you know how for us growing up, it's like don't do that, and then done. It's not let's talk about it, and see what's going on with you. Do you feel like that played a role in your whole rebellion?
yeah, I am so horrible because um, my mom was a counselor at juvenile hall in Sacramento. Like,
Oh, wow.
her degree, her field is psychology, and my dad criminal justice. But as her field being in psychology, it frustrated her. She would tell me, I don't understand how I can help all these kids, troubled kids, or help other kids in juvenile hall or in homes and stuff. And here's my daughter, struggling. Can you talk to me? So that was the benefit that I have. But I saw it like with culture, it's like just do it. Do it because I told you to do it. Like, do it because
yeah.
I said, you know. So, but then I just pushed against it. I was just like, no, you don't understand, or, I'm like, you guys are the ones that are doing this to me. Like at that time I thought, we have to move, like, why?
Yeah.
I take it you probably skipped school a lot too. And
I
if you did, who was your getaway gang?
I know, right? I don't know. I don't think I skipped a lot of classes. I think here and there I did, but because for the most time, I just sold up to the boo tree. I skip class or go anywhere.
She was queen of the puru.
Those were the days.
Those were days of learning moments, and so I mean, the best part about it is that again we can laugh at it, right? But
Yeah,
one thing I can also say about the Samoan culture is that you could do so much good, and I think it also transpired to everybody else's. You could do so much good in the world, but that one thing that you do, like it could be a mistake. Everyone forgets all the good that you've done, but they always remember that one bad that you do,
Yeah.
you made a mistake on. So, I mean,
You know,
it is what it is. But
no, you're right. You're right. We're always remembered from the bad things we do, but with the fact that we did a lot of good too. But I
yes.
feel like it's more like because in our culture, it's more of a status quo, like who's the better family, who puts more money in, da da da. Oh, their daughter did this, our daughter didn't do that. You know what I mean? It was always like always trying to see who has the better, right? So you're right. You're always remembered for the bad. Nobody really talks about the good we do.
But what I love the most, and I'm gonna jump into something else because what I love right now with our generation is that we now look at what are we doing now with our life,
Yeah.
right? And so, and it goes back to Lena. You have a big transformation. I cannot believe the determination and all of that energy that you put into changing the way you are now, as far as your goals and losing weight and being this beautiful. You've been beautiful before, but man, that empowerment that you have. To how much weight did you lose, if you don't mind me asking?
I lost a total of 170 to 180 pounds.
Wow.
Wow.
I know. And the thing is, like, I don't even know how I let myself get that big. But, life happens. And, like I was saying,
Yeah.
some of the things happen that I just let myself go. Food, our culture is food, and we
Yeah.
just eat and eat. And before you know it, like, I'm almost 400 pounds,
Yeah.
And then life happens, right? I got I ended up getting a divorce. And then I finally told myself I had to work on myself, and this is in my late 40s.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now, when you say you lost that much weight, was it all strictly working out and diet, or did
Yeah.
you have help or anything like personal
No,
training?
at the hospital I work for, they have free personal training.
Okay.
I do credit my trainer for, like, mostly all of it, because I
Yeah.
do a day work out in the morning, 5 to 6, and then in the evening 4:30 to 5:30, and every day.
Yeah.
And then on the weekends, we did beach volleyball
Oh, nice.
or
Nice.
hiked, or so, like, for the first 6 months, like, I did that straight, like, twice a day, every day. And then the eating part came in, like eating healthier and taking care of yourself.
So losing 170 plus pounds, I think you need to have your trainer call me.
Well, the trainer
Right?
Right.
is behind her somewhere.
Somewhere. I know.
Well, kudos to you.
Yeah,
So,
congratulations on that, sis.
Thank you. Thank you. Like, I think, as like we said, right, as we get older, transformation happens, right, from who we were in school. The goal is getting to become a better person, right? A better person, as we know, as if you, when you learn, you do better.
Yeah.
That's what makes you the person that you are today, right? It's when you don't do better. Yeah, when you know and you don't do better, then it becomes a problem, right? Then you become that part of society that is the problem. So,
Well, let me be the first to say you look great. You look wonderful.
thank
It
you.
looks yeah, I would have never thought that you know you had that much weight, but you look great.
Oh, the pictures are there to show it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, Lena, with all the transformation and everything, where do you see yourself in 5 years? 1 year, 2 years, 3, 5 years, especially now with the new you. And when people say, "Well, I'm this age and I'm that," we're never too old, we're never too young. And so the way that you look right now, you still look like you're in your 30s. So don't even
Yeah,
go there. So where do you
exactly.
see, yeah. So where do you see yourself, these next couple of years? What do people do not know about Lena and what her goals are and then what's to come that we need to be like on the on the edge kind of seat for
Yeah,
this new Lena.
she's bringing it back. She's bringing it back.
I hoping for 7 as we're getting older. I think for me, just trying to get to that brighter future. I didn't get to complete my, like, say, my master's, so I do want to go back to get, complete my education. That's another
Nice.
thing that you're never too old to, go back and do. Um, be healthier. I want to get to be 50, right? I'm 47 now, right? We want to get to be 50 and be able to enjoy our kids and our, and my granddaughter, grandkids, hoping for more grandkids. And what we're doing is really trying to raise the next generation, of kids or our culture or people, to know, like I'm glad, even though I didn't grow up in Samoa, my parents did raise me in the culture so that when I did go back home, I just, was able to pick up in the culture. I spoke the language, and I was able to kind of understand things. What I didn't know though is the heart of it, like
Yeah,
other things that,
yeah.
mekawa, right?
Yang
Um,
anu, right? Yang
exactly,
anu.
right.
Yeah,
So that's things that I want to be, are the future,
that
like
song.
my nephews, the kids, my
Mhm.
kids, I want them to understand, not only have the pride in being Samoan, but understand, the sacrifices and the things that happened before them. I give props to a lot of our classmates that have moved back home and are trying to make it a better home for, for people that are there and for us that want to come back home.
Mm.
Like I would love to move back home. That's, another thing. But it's like we have to make sure like the hospital is good. We had to come
Yeah,
back because I had to bring my mom and my grandma back like every other month. We couldn't afford that. Who can afford
yeah,
to keep a place in Hawaii? you know but it's and then even if we're not home, our contribution to our home is to make sure that what you guys have, what everybody has, that heart, growing up home, knowing your people, knowing that we are one and we should build each other up.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things. That's what you can do as Samoans in the mainland, we should say, right?
yeah.
Supporting our people back home and trying to help them to understand that it's a lot. The blood that runs through you, is means something, as a culture, as a people, as a human being, be a decent human being.
Well, well said.
Thank you, Lena. Thanks for sharing that. We have about 4 minutes to go, and I just wanted to say thank you for being on our podcast. Thank you for sharing your moments and the times that you had grown up in Samoa and your life story. Um, I just want to, because Lena, you've really inspired me with watching you transpire into the woman that you are now. For those of you out there, it's not even too late. Don't say that you're getting too old and you don't want to lose the weight or you're comfortable with where you are. If you find yourself Sella walking up 2 stairs, get your butt in the gym.
Yes, our patient. Look, health is one that
Yes.
you
Yeah,
can control. Because like as Rebecca said, I'm like, tell me what to do or what to do. Health is your priority. Make yourself your priority. You're no good to your family if you're not around. The longer that you can here to be around, the better. And the only way you can do that is to take care of yourself. Be
yeah.
And don't be afraid
healthy.
to talk to each other. Like you have Lena here, you have all of our other classmates. You have me, everyone. Everyone has strengths and weakness, and we can thrive off of each other.
Yeah.
And so don't be afraid. I mean, don't be embarrassed or bother to even say, hey, can you give me a call early in the morning to get up to go to the gym? Or what food are you eating? I mean, that's why I like our group chat, because, you know, some of those things that people post in our texts, they post like healthy food. Just the other day, one of them posted a picture of their food, and I'm like, I better drop my chocolate candy bar, because that's my weakness is chocolate.
And
But
healthy
Yeah.
things, right? So healthy is like physically and then also mentally or spiritually, you know, you have to make sure you're in the right place at all different points. And another thing, you know, it's like we have to learn to like forgive ourselves first for all the things that, you know, we didn't know or we do, because in forgiving ourselves, then we can start to heal and forgive others.
Yeah.
You know, just like we say, we're too old for this, you know, anything that goes on, right?
yes.
I admire the love that everybody has. You know, they wouldn't, when I was going through my days, they wouldn't let me just fall and just fall, you know. If you know, if you guys didn't care in this class, right? Like if you guys didn't care, they would have just been like, you probably would have dropped out, or, you know, they were just like, no, get your butt to class, get your butt, you know, take these terms and, you know, all of these things. Everybody played a vital role in different pieces to know that we all need each other, you know.
Yeah. You know, Lena, listening to your story, um, I now learned that, you know, uh, pain is inevitable, you know, but
Mhm.
let's not forget that the joy is too. So if you focus more on the joy in your life, then that's like a force you could use to keep you moving forward, you know.
Yeah,
There's
yes.
a there's a Salmon proverb that goes solo itua niao taulia, meaning the past clouds are starting to clear, and you know the future looks bright, and I wish you the best and everything, you know, and we're always here for you too. If you ever want to reach out, I mean, you're part of our group, you know, with Gid, Eileen, Rosita, Fui Fui. So God bless you, and I appreciate you joining us and, you know, sharing your story with us.
Thank you. And, and you know, if I have wronged anyone in the past or, you know, in present, I do ask for forgiveness. You know, it's like we say, as we all, no matter what religion we are, I know we all say we pray, right? We forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us.
It's us.
In,
Yes.
in
Amen.
past days, I was such an embarrassment to the village.
Uh,
Now,
That's
as I
forgotten.
now,
Yeah.
you know, like now, when I'm doing my career, I can say that I'm proud to represent my Derek. When they're like, when I'm sitting at that table and they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" I was like, "I'm from, you know, American
Yeah.
Samoa." Like, you know,
Yeah.
but
That's great.
yes,
That's awesome.
love, guys.
Well, thank you so much, Lena, for being
Thank
on our
you.
podcast, being the hot seat. Thank
Thank
you to
you.
Pop, our Pulse of Polynesia, for
Let's go.
putting in that
Oh,
$50
pop.
to Lena.
Yes,
And so we're
Yep.
excited for next week. We have John Tufa Wednesday. We have Molikoa coming up next week, Saturday. And to everyone out there, don't forget to put your vote in. We need head count to see who's going to be in Vegas. I would love to see everybody up in
Yes.
Vegas. So
Yes.
please, please,
Let's do
please
Vegas.
be
Let's
there.
catch up in Vegas, everybody. Thank you, Lena.
Yeah, thank you, Lena.
Thank you
And I
so much.
cannot wait for the next couple of years of seeing your transformation even more.
Oh,
Love you,
yes.
sis. Thank you, everybody.
Love
You guys have a good
you.
night.
Love you. Good
Bye.
night.
bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.